Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you are back. So I have another pick a card reading today. This pick a card reading will be what spirit wants to let you know right now, what you need to hear, what may help you during this time. So I will have 4 pile selections pop up on the screen, and a lot of you will be drawn to more than one pile, so pick more than one pile. So yeah, use your intuition the best that you can, and I'll see you at your reading. Hello pile 1. So welcome to your reading. This will be messages that you need to hear right now. Any messages that come through from your spirit guides, or just anything random. What are some messages pile 1 needs to hear? Growth. Growth. Grass is excited. He is ready to tell his best friend Weed that he is gay, but Weed reacts negatively, and it is the first of many judgments encounters for Grass. First of many judgments. So this is like the first one out of all that he's gonna go through during his lifetime. For years he has turned down from jobs, and even when he applies for an apartment, Grass fights for the right to live where he wants and wins. But soon after he moves into his new apartment, someone breaks in and attacks him. In the hospital, his loved ones gather, sharing stories of who Grass was to them. He dies, leaving behind his legacy of love and courage. Key ideas: taking a stand, living your truth, lack of safety, clashing values, teaching by example. Keywords: warrior, peace, courage. Personal inquiry: what have I outgrown? Am I willing to become independent? Your message is best expressed when you are uniquely you. So I feel like what you need to hear right now, Palman, is like to be authentically you, even if that comes off confusing and harmful and hurtful to other people. This could be like a romantic interest, like if they're not meeting your standards of the new brand new you, because the growth cards give me like you're a brand new person, or you're wanting to become a brand new person. You're not wanting to stay who you are right now. You're not comfortable with who you are right now. You don't feel like you're in alignment with who you are right now. You're about to grow really fast into this new person, or you already have became this new person that you always wanted to be and that you're striving to be. And I feel like if this is like a romantic partner that just isn't meeting your standards right now, then you're gonna have to just be open about this, express this. It might end up being a very hurtful breakup, because like Grass, he was going through a lot of things that were hurtful, but it was changing him for the better. It was teaching him things throughout his life, and everything that he was going through kind of like was teaching, also giving his friends and outsiders inspiration, even if they weren't telling him that. They shared that at his deathbed, but I feel like a lot of your friends, you're inspiring to a lot of your friends as well. But I feel like if things are outgrowing you, friends as well, and they're not willing to understand why you don't, like, I don't want to say you don't need them in your life, but you don't really have time for them, or it's not like it's not beneficial to you anymore. It's kind of like a waste of your time, or they're getting in the way, like they're draining your energy. Then it's your life, and you're like the main character of your life. You don't want to still be fitting them in your schedule when you're wanting to do bigger and better things, and they're just not on that list right now. I feel like some of them could come back Hold on really quick. Okay, I'm back. So I feel like they're just not in the bigger picture right now. Doesn't mean that they're not going to come back or they don't have a spot in your life eventually. But I feel like right now you're just going to have to, like, you can't have everything on your shoulders, all these things to carry, because or certain relationships, if they don't serve you right now, you need to let them go. You need to let them go, like, they're separate ways. Friendship or relationships, I feel like it'll turn into like heavy energy, like you're more things you have to, like, I don't want to call them burdens, but it's kind of like giving me like you need empty space for this growth. Like, you need empty space, you need your own, like, awareness. You don't need everybody else's consciousness, thoughts, emotions, grief, energies projecting onto you. You need to digest and have room for your own projections and emotions and feelings and thoughts and concerns and worries and anxiety. Because when you're around people, friends or relationships, sexual partner, non-sexual, family members, like, when you're having to deal with all of that, it's not always, sometimes you can have like hurtful thoughts. All these thoughts and emotions, 9 times out of 10, they're not yours. It's of the company that you keep. And I feel like that's like one of the messages that's coming out with this growth card, is like, all the company that you're keeping doesn't mean that these people are bad people. Like, people go through their own trials and tribulations, but I feel like you have your own trials and tribulations that you need to tend to, and you're the main character of your own life. You're not here to put a cape on and tend to everybody else's needs and concerns and feelings and grief and whatever they're going through before your own. I feel like you need to, this is like a significant time in your life where you really need to put yourself first, and you need to go towards your goals and your dreams and your inspirations. Not help other people get to their goals and their dreams and their whatever it is, because you work so hard with the growth card to heal yourself and to become independent. Because I feel like in the card it did say something about, are you wanting to be independent? Are you ready to be independent? And I feel like this is like pile 1, you're ready to be independent. I feel like this is why you pick pile 1. You want to come first in your life. You want to do, like, you want to be courageous. You want to be, you want to like speak your mind. You want to be outspoken. You want to be, if you're an introvert, you want to try to be an extrovert. You want to just, it's like you want a new title in life. Like, you want to do a whole 360. You want to have like a big change in your life for this new person that you want to be, that you're striving to be, and that you know you can be. And I feel like you don't need to be helping anybody else right now during this time. Maybe you are a helper and a giver most of the time, but right now Spirit's saying you can't do that right now. You can't be a giver right now. You've been giving all of your life. I don't know if this is a coping mechanism. You've been a giver or a yes man, yes woman, but it's like right now you don't need to be doing that. Right now you need to be yes woman, yes man to your own life. Because you have a lot of goals and you have a lot of things that you need space for, organization for. You need to become more organized as well, is what a message I'm getting from Spirit. You need to be more organized. So you have, because if you notice, like, when your room gets messy or your apartment gets messy, when your car gets messy, you feel like you feel smaller in that space. You feel like there's no room to walk. You feel like there's no room to sit, stretch your feet out, no room to think, no mental space as well when you don't clean up, or when there's just a lot of things not organized. Because a lot of times your room or your apartment is probably not even messy, it's just not organized. And as soon as you organize things, it's a lot of more room for a lot more things, like a space. Clear, organized thoughts as well comes from organizing the physical realm. Your mind can become more clear once everything around you is more clear. And 9 times out of 10, it's not messy, it's just disorganized. It's not nasty and dirty, it's just disorganized. Like, a lot of the things aren't in the right place. A lot of the things don't have space for it. So a lot of things you can throw away or put in a box and put in the closet. Like, it doesn't need to be out. Like, a lot of stuff I feel like needs, you need to clean up, or you need to organize. Really, you need to become more organized, or buy a calendar. Start by buying a calendar, or start by buying a calendar. For some of you guys, if you I haven't done that already, but I think it's just something to do with organizing for this new growth, for whatever it is. Could be a new career. I think it's all of the above, like a new career coming in, a new love life coming in, a new like a new business if you already have a business, a better career if you already have like a job you don't want to be at anymore. Like it's a lot of new things in all aspects of your life wanting to come in. That's why I feel like with these roots right here, you need to like pull out all of the like weeds and the is it called weeds? It's called whatever those things that you don't want in your yard. I forget what it's called. I think it's called weeds. So but whatever, it's like you don't need it in your garden anymore. Like you need to like dig up all those dead roots for the things that aren't growing or aren't benefiting your life anymore, and pull them out of the ground and plant, like nurture the soil, put new soil down if you need to. Like if you need to do all of that, dig up the roots, put new soil down, all of that to replant this new garden in this new garden as in like your life, then you do that. But don't look at other people's garden and seeing that they don't have to do as much. Like they don't have to pull up as many weeds. They don't have to go down, dig to the roots of like the core of to do healing. Maybe some people haven't been hurt the way everybody's different. So don't look at other people's garden and what they're doing and what they're harvesting and putting in their garden, because that's not your garden. You might want to harvest potatoes or strawberries, and then Sally or Raymond, they want to harvest green onions or something you don't even eat, squash or something like that. You don't want to take from other people's blueprint and their healing process and their career goals and everything else. I think another thing too, Power One, is like get off social media, because social media can make you think you want to do something. Like social media can influence you a lot, and it's a good thing to have social media to be influenced, but this is another thing to be too influenced by many different things and to become disorganized. Like I was saying, like it needs to be a balance. And when you're too influenced by too many things, it's like how can I explain it? Like you're too influenced and you're just, I don't want to say, because you can take from other people, like you can, because it's another thing where it's like you can be influenced by different creators. I would just say don't be influenced by too many people. I would probably say like notch it down to like 5 main influencers in your life. It don't even have to be social media influencers. It could be family members. It could be social media influencers. It could be anybody, but it's just like I would at least have 10. If it has to be 10, have 10 main influencers, and look in their garden and see what you would like to plant in your garden. If you like a certain vegetable, you see them planting, learn from that, learn how they're harvesting it, learn how they're taking care of it. And then, you know, when you're healing and stuff like that and you have room to put that in your garden, you have, like, this is another thing too, when you're manifesting because everybody feels the emotion of jealousy. So I don't know why people will be like, I don't know why Kevin and such are jealous. Like I could never be jealous. But everybody, to see that somebody's jealous, you have to know that feeling of being jealous. And everybody, it's a natural feeling that comes and goes. You don't have to like stay in the jealousy emotion, but jealousy comes and that's natural. But anyways, what I was about to say from that is like you can't be jealous of other people's success. Basically influencers that are already having what you're trying to manifest, like whatever it is. It could be body goals, you want to gain weight, just anything in life. If they've already gotten to the goal where you're trying to like seek and have, you can't be intimidated or jealous, or because 9 times out of 10 you're not ready for all of the battles and all of the routine that they have, the lifestyle, like, because it takes a lot to have a certain routine and lifestyle to get to that goal. And you know this firsthand if you're trying to achieve this goal, how hard it can be. So it's like God knows that you're not ready right now, but you're taking the steps to be ready to receive all that another influencer or another role model has that you may want, or you may want, like, you know, if that makes sense. Like you're probably not ready for it, and it's like you need to take little steps and to get to where they are. It's like they probably, to get that nice body you want, they probably work out every freaking day. And are you ready to work out every day? That business that you want, they work for free every single day. They have a hectic schedule. Are you right? Are you even organized enough to have that type of schedule? Or if you want that manager high position, are you ready to be, you can't even show up to work like that. And it's like, or you get drained easily. It's like managers, they have to be on call. They have to regulate the store. They they have to do a lot. And are you ready for that? Probably not. So that's why God is trying to, growth is also like slow. Like it's a practical thing as well as manifesting. I feel like for you, Paula, another message is that you have all the tools. You definitely have all the tools, but it's just like you need to learn and study these tools. And it is good to look in other people's garden and see how they're managing their tools to pull out their weeds or dig into the ground or plant certain seeds. Like you need to actually study those tools, but also see how you want to use the tools, because you, even if you study someone else's work or routine or art ethic to something, their artistic expression, their work ethic, their mental, how they like are organized, because everybody has a different way of doing things. If you also have noticed that as well, everybody has their own way of comprehending things and getting things done and putting them in a certain area, and having the same outcome, which is abundance or whatever. It's like success, but everybody has a different way of how they grow. Like every tree doesn't grow the same, even if it's like the same tree. Every tree doesn't have the same limb in the same exact place, even if it's the same exact species. They don't grow the same, and they don't grow like, I think also too, like, I don't know why it's like giving me garden analogy for all of this, but it's like different planters, even if they're growing the same thing, like you guys are harvesting the same thing in different gardens, it's like it's gonna grow differently out of love as well. It's different love you guys are putting into it. And also don't be discouraged if other people don't have to do as much work in their garden, because you never know where they're at in their journey. They could have been doing what you were doing a few years ago or a year back or whatever. And also don't get discouraged of how fast their harvest or plants are growing as well. Everything is like divine timing, and it happens. Everything happens for a reason. So also take a step back when you're influenced, because you can send your mind into an overload. You can definitely send your mind into an overload of like thinking you need to do certain things a certain way. An influencer or your mother or your father did it, but it's just like you actually don't. You need to figure out what's best for you and how you learn. Because also too, in like school, everybody's a different learner. I never got that growing up, but like that's like whole another topic and analogy. Not really, because everybody else has their own way of like learning. Not that nobody's stupid. It's like, it's kind of like the analogy of like a fish can't climb a tree like a monkey can, but is it stupid? Is it stupider than a monkey? Or a monkey can't swim like how a fish can swim, but is the monkey stupid? It's like, no, it's like they're both masters of different elements. And some people are going to be better. Also too, Pawan, some people are going to be better than you at doing something. You have to find your niche. But even if your niche is something that they're better than you at doing, you can take notes, or you can find a way that you can become better, because they're probably doing a different strategy that's making them seem like they're better. But if you put your own strategy into it, any element too, I'm going back to the magician, like any tool, like the garden analogy, any tool, which is the sword. I don't even think I need to pull cards. Spirits tell me don't pull cards, because this is like, I'm about to end the reading really, because I think this is like the main thing that you need to know right now, like to make it simple, because I don't want to overload your mind. I think you have a lot on your mind right now, Pawan. But what I was saying is like the magician, like you have the tool of air, well, the sword, the spear, whatever you want to call it. There's another word for it though. Dagger, the sword, air element, the truth, justice element, and then we got it could also be balance. Then we have the fire element, which is the wand, growth, movement, your sexual energy. It could be your masculine energy as well, your masculine traits, your emperor traits. Then we have the water, which is the cup, and that's emotions. You're feeling the spiritual realm where you channel messages from the divine, how you feel messages from the divine, your intuition, the high priestess energy, like that feeling you know something before it happens, and or to help guide you from like a hurtful situation. Your intuition, your stomach, all the stomach chakras and your heart chakra. And then we have water, sword, fire. Then we have earth element, which is a pinnacle, and that's all about practical earth element. That's about abundance, spiritually and financially. It's all about stability, the root chakra, the red element. It's all about your inheritance, what was passed down to you, whether that's, and also what's passed down to you is not only all the good things. You're gonna be inherited all the bad things, all the diseases, all of the behaviors, all of the mental health issues. Like, you're not gonna just be passed down all of the good traits too. I want to get that out of you. Like, another message too is like, you're gonna be passed down all of the generational curses as well as all the generational talents and gifts. And like, you know how some people are easily good artists, that was passed down, but they also probably inherited a lot of bad things as well. Or if you're naturally good at sports, your parents and your ancestors were probably naturally physically built for that, good at sports and good at hunting, stuff like that. Like, you're not always going to get, nobody's going to ever get only the good qualities passed down in the family tree as well. I think that was another message where, because another thing with social media or just life in general, people aren't going to show you, or they're too embarrassed to show you where they came from. It's rare. So it's rare. Like, I want to stop saying social media because that's not the only influencers. That's another message too. You don't only find role models that are only on social media. You need to get out of that boxes too. Once you start getting out of your box, out of your comfort zone, and you go to like the gym by yourself, become more independent. Like, once you go out and become more independent, you'll meet other people like you. You could be frightening and scary at times, because things that are taught nowadays is to be like, being alone is like considered lonely. And if you look it up in the dictionary or on Google, alone and lonely is two completely different things. Lonely, I think it said like, it's two different completely things. Alone is like independent, you're just of self, you're not scared to be just of self. Lonely is like, you're scared to be by yourself, you're sad, you're depressed, stuff like that. It's a feeling. Lonely is a feeling. Alone is a thing, in a way, like a being, like you're living. Alone, lonely is a feeling. Like, it's a depressing, it's like when you're depressed, you feel lonely. Even around people, it can be an extrovert that feels lonely. Alone is not that. It's another message coming through. Independence is definitely not lonely. Get that out of your head of like, oh, if I sacrifice this love, this boyfriend, girlfriend, if I sacrifice this career, I'm gonna be have of nothing. But no, you're clearing off your plate for a better meal, a healthier meal. Like, like, you're not, it's a reason why things are falling apart always, or why this didn't work out with Sam, or why this didn't work out at Whole Foods, a job at Whole Foods, because your mind can't comprehend or wrap around what God is trying to give you. You probably won't understand, or it won't be logically explained why this blessing is coming in and who or where it's coming from. And plus, it's supposed to be a surprise. Why I always look at tarot readings? Like, why wouldn't you want certain growth, certain time stamps in your life to be a surprise? Like, that's like, why would you want to ruin your surprise birthday party? Like, why would somebody, like, it's not going to be a surprise anymore? Like, isn't things more fun at being secret until you reach that goal, and then you can celebrate it? Like, it'll be a more joyful, authentic, genuine experience if you just learn to let things be a surprise, let things be a gift from God. God wants things to be a gift sometimes. Like, I'm pretty sure your angels are like, damn, we're trying to keep some things as like a happier moment for you, but you keep like coming to tarot readings, exposing all of it. So it's like when it does come, you're like bored of it. I want to say bored of it, but it's like you already knew it was coming. It wasn't as special. So I feel like too, that's another message coming through. Don't always run to tarot cards for a certain outcome. Just know that it's going to be special, and just know that don't have any fear. I think a lot of you come to tarot readings for a fear of outcome, but just know that it's going to be special, and it's going to be something new and scary at first, but it's not going to be anything that God isn't having happening in your life for a reason, and for a good reason, for a good purpose. Even the hurtful times, the times it's very difficult to understand, where you feel clouded and you have no like fair judgment of anything, you're tired, it's been like days you're working, or you feel overwhelmed from school, whatever it is, it's like everything is a learning. When you realize everything comes from, because the divine is trying to teach you never to go there again, never to react that way again, to control your triggers, to ignore that lesson. You already went through that. Ignore that person, ignore the same situation with a different person. Then you'll know like it was, oh, okay, I went through that for a reason. Don't mind that watermelon on the side of my table. I didn't even know it was showing, but I didn't feel like cutting it, so it's just there. But yeah, that's what I have. Oh yeah, you guys should try offering certain things, or just like, I don't know, I was about to say try doing offerings to your ancestors if you're into that. I don't know how far along you are into your spiritual journey, but I feel like you are taking off like a rocket with the growth card. It's like, but some of your growth is going to be slow, but also there's some of your growth, I heard growth spurts. So some of your, yeah, because some plants grow faster than others. Some take forever to sprout out of the ground. You almost think it's not gonna sprout things, and then you ever like grow something and then it grows, or you see it and you didn't, like, you don't be so fixated on the outcome, because like if you forget about it, it's like sometimes when I leave my nails alone and I forget about my nails, I'll start to analyze them again, and they grow so fucking fast. So it's like when you don't pay attention, like plant the seed and leave it alone, go do something else, and then when you come back, I promise you it's gonna like, it'd be a surprise, like genuine. It's gonna make your heart feel like flutter, give you butterflies. It's gonna be a very emotional memory that you'll remember for the rest of your life, that you won't have to captivate through a cell phone, through an Instagram story. You will know that feeling and that experience and that memory through your mind. Because you guys, I don't know how old you guys are in this on my channel, but it's like I remember times where memories, which is certain things, would just come up in my mind where it would just give me a feeling, and I wouldn't have to like run to my Instagram story and like re-look at the story, or in my timeline, highlights on my Instagram to like relive the moment. I could just go into my body or something to remind me of that pleasant moment that I shared with a family member or a lover, or an experience by myself. And yeah, so I think that's what God's trying to like put into this message, is like a feeling will give you that memory as well. You don't always have to like record something, or just be more into your feelings and let things be a surprise, and let go of like relationships that don't no longer serve you, so you can have a clean slate, organize your mind, your space. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not messy and nasty, it's just disorganized, because your mind is disorganized. You have a lot on your plate because of other people's feelings and thoughts and projections onto you that run to you for help. Or not everybody that's an energy vampire is an energy vampire on purpose. They just need your help, and they cling to your spiritual body because they know that you're a healer subconsciously. Some people don't even know why they're obsessed with you, or why they are drawn to speak to you in the supermarket, or drawn to smile at you, wave at you, but it's because their energy body, their spiritual body can pick up on it, and they don't even know it. Their brain doesn't know it. Their brain isn't processing it, because that's like we'll get into that like another reading, I don't know. But that was like the main message for you, Pile 1, on messages you need to hear or know during this time. So I hope that it resonated. I hope that you enjoyed, and please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next post. Hello, Pal 2. So this will be a reading on what Spirit wants to tell you or what you need to know right now. I just heard you need to pray more for this, Pal. Pray more, believe more, pray to your deity, to your God, to the universe, to the divine, to a higher power, to a higher source. Pray to your higher self. Talk to your higher self. Prayers also can be whispers, so you can whisper to yourself or say something in your mind mentally to yourself. You can talk to yourself in the shower. That's also a prayer. Or yeah, speak in the shower. Certain things, like speak to the shower. It's also speaking to like the rain. Like, I don't know, certain spells that I feel like I'm gonna have to do more research, but like speaking into water, speaking into like windy air and stuff like that, speaking to the earth, speaking to your food before you eat it, whisper to your food before you eat it. And that sounds so weird, but it's just like speak different things. I feel like if you say a prayer to your food, it could be anything though. It could be like you blessing your food. It could also be like, okay, I want this certain goal to happen for me this week, and then you say it over the food and then you eat it and you put it into your body. It's almost like you're inhabiting your words, or it's like you're digesting your words or whatever you want. As well as like with fruits, you can speak over your fruits, bless your fruits, or speak into a candle. I think I mostly speak into candles and then let it transform and let it burn out, because you guys know fire is like it's like transforming. It's literally making a substance turn to smoke or melt or whatever it is. It's like it's transforming it, evaporating it, or changing another substance into another. As well as like eating, like blessing, praying over your food and eating it. It's transforming the food into like a different substance. It's transforming into your stomach. Well, when it goes through your stomach, it's transforming. So I feel like just speaking into things that you know is about to transform, or things that, I don't know, it's like speaking into water as well, or going over a lake or to a park and praying over the water, sticking your feet. It's like doing different prayers where you know it's like, I don't know, where random times where you feel like you need to pray. Group 2. It's like the main thing for you. You need to believe in your prayers, because prayers, spells are prayers. Prayers are spells because you believe in them. It's like something you say and you believe in it and it happens. Even if you're talking to a divine, it's still a spell, because when it starts to happen, it's a spell. So, but yeah, it's like almost like be careful what you ask for as well. Pile 2 is another message I got. Be careful what you ask for, because even like you being upset, like say you're upset, yeah, because your throat chakra is very strong, Pile 2. So it's like even when you're upset, when you say certain things, like say somebody bumps you, you're like, damn, I don't want to say it, but it's just like, damn, I wish that like it's like that's a spell. Like, I don't want to call it black magic, but it could be that. It could be like unknowingly you doing black magic or spells or wishing things upon something or a situation, and you not really wanting that. It's just the heat of the moment. Like even with arguments as well, Pile 2. Watch what you say during arguments, because I'm getting that as well. Watch what you say during arguments when you're mad at someone that you really like. Would you have said that or wanted that if you weren't mad? Like you could, because it's like you could be mad at somebody. You can even be mad at, I feel like I've held grudges for long too, which is not okay. It's not good for your body as well as like the situation at hand. But I feel like even when you hold grudges, it's like you're still gonna end up forgiving them for yourself. So it's like, was it really worth it? Or what you wished upon that situation or that person, was it worth it? Especially if you know you argue with somebody that you're going to end up getting back together with. It's like you're really like, that's negative energy, because once you like wish something or want something to happen to somebody and it does happen and you end up going back to them or fooling around with them, it's like the karma or whatever is going to unravel on you. It's like, I don't know, it's just like, that's like very low vibrational energy to like talk through your tongue when you're upset, when you're mad. It's almost like you can't reverse words, hurtful words or hurtful actions. Like someone's always going to remember that in their crown chakra, even if they're forgiving you. I'm pretty sure you remember things that somebody that used to abuse you or take advantage of you said to you. You always remember that at certain times in your life. You're always going to remember hurtful things, and you don't want to be that person for another person. Like you don't want to be that abusive You don't want like to be a bully to another person because you know how it feels. You don't want them to remember you in that way, or have certain things brought up in their mind that you might have said to someone that discourages them when they're going through about life. You know, you don't want to have to be that person for somebody to have to heal from, where they only remember the hurtful things that you said or did, and that hinders them from their growth, because that can also roll over and be bad karma off of you, because it hinders them and discourages them from their higher self. That could be you guys don't know how much karma and how long karma can roll off onto your life when you hinder or discourage somebody from their higher self, because it takes time for someone to heal. Growth came out. Oh my gosh, it came out for Power 1. But you guys don't know that growth does not have a growth, or healing does not have a timestamp on it for healing. So somebody has to take time to heal, like years to heal from what you might have said during an argument that only took 2 seconds for you to let off of your tongue because you were in a heat of the moment and you're a hothead. And immediately after, like, it don't even matter if 5 minutes after that you apologize to that person and you feel totally like shit. You feel bad for saying that because you don't even know where that hurtful, mean shit came from. It's just like, it does not matter how much remorse and how much you say I'm sorry. If those words affected that person, it could be friend, family members, relationship, whatever. If those words triggered that person to the point where they could say that they forgive you and it's okay, you know, I know you didn't mean it. Like, they can actually know that you didn't mean it, and they know that you were mad. But if it actually hurt that to hear that from the person, and it affected them to the point where it discourages their growth, and they remember it to, like, in every single moment, different moments. Like, let me give an example. Like, you're arguing with someone and you're like, oh, that's why nobody likes you and you'll never amount to anything. Knowing that you really didn't mean it, you're just trying to like have the best comeback. In their mind, if they believe that, or if it's coming from you, if they love you, and you're like, even if it's somebody that is on the streets, even if you don't mean anything to them, people can take words. I think everybody does this too though, but if you say that to someone and it actually and they go to like apply for that new job, and they feel like, and they hear those words in the back of their mind, and then they start to believe it, and then they curse their own blessings, and they don't get a job. They don't get the job just because the whole night after they applied to that job, they were like, I'm not going to get the job. I'm not going to get the job. Like, so-and-so said, that stranger said, my wife said, my girlfriend said, my ex said that I would never amount to nothing. Nobody likes me. And the whole night they're like thinking this is true. And then, so the whole time they're manifesting to not get the job. So then they get the call back, they don't get the job, and then they feel even worse. So they don't even apply to any more jobs, and that grows. Like, growth is also manifestations, festering, things that stick with the person. So I'm really getting for this pile is different from Power 1. Definitely different from Power 1. This is like more so like festering energy that you can project onto someone through emotions, like that you don't really mean. You're just in that emotion for that time. So it's like the person, let's go back to the example. It's like the person is like, oh, after all of that, it's like after they get the call back and it's a no, and they keep hearing your voice say whatever you said, or you did whatever you did to make this person believe certain things, and they believe it in themselves. So now it's not even your words in their mind anymore. It's their words in their mind saying what you said, but they hear it as their conscious, or their conscious mind. They hear it, it's already embedded in their mind. So now it's not even your voice. It's just echoing. You ever heard of echo? And just keep echoing until it sounds different or farther. It's almost like that in like a person's mind. You need to be careful what you say to people. But back to the example, it's like so now it's like after that one no from the one job, they're discouraged. Like they're thinking, I'm never, any job I apply to, they're gonna say no, so I'm not even gonna try anymore. They go into a deep depression, and then they go into unemployment, all type of shit for years, and they have to crawl out of that and heal. So 9 out of 10, they can go through that for years, and then they're like, damn, why did I ever go into that depression, like the echo I was talking about? Now they don't even know why they, like, where that insecurity stemmed from them getting not being able to keep a job or get a job. Whole time it came from that little fucking argument you guys had in the past. But it's been so long that they don't even know, they don't even realize that that little outburst that you had, or that little argument you guys had back and forth, not saying that the person didn't say harmful words, harmful shit to you too, but I'm just giving an example on both ends. But yeah, so it's like a little argument can make years of like you having to come back from that and heal from that. And then after those years go by, you're like, damn, I don't even know where it came from, but I just know I need to heal this insecurity or feeling like I will never be good enough for this and that, even though I don't really know where it stems from. I just know I need to heal it, and it's going to take years or time. So that's what I'm saying, like, don't, speaking into things is like an echo in your mind and somebody else's mind, and your growth is like a domino effect. So I would just be careful, Paltu, with your words when you're upset, or even if somebody brings that out of you. So say you're not even the aggressor, because I know some of y'all will be like, damn, I say hurtful shit but when I'm provoked. But it's like, if you have to, why would you deal with somebody that provokes you? Why would you keep dealing with somebody that provokes you to say things that you wouldn't even say, that's gonna ultimately give you karma, whether you meant to say it or not? It's gonna give you some type of energy, like it's gonna come back around, even if you didn't mean to say it. But it's like, you're like, oh, I'm getting provoked. But why would you continue to be in a cycle with somebody that's provoking you to act out and to be mean and to be ugly, and, you know, to stem their growth? Why would you keep being with somebody that's wanting you to stem your growth in other, because karma stems your growth, because you have to deal with all this type of shit. You gotta owe back to the universe that you didn't really mean, that you were too, like, if somebody provokes you, family member, lover, sister, brother, best friend, ex-best friend, I don't care who it is, if the person keeps provoking you to act out of character, they don't need to be in your life. Like, no. Paltu, that's like another message. I'm gonna get one more, but I think, let's see, yeah, one more card, I'm gonna close it. Main message is like, watch your throat chakra when you're upset or when you're being provoked. If you're being provoked, Paltu, walk away or cut this person out of your life, so you don't have to go out of character and waste all of that time and energy, waste all of that time of, like, because you could have did a lot in your life to get to where you are. And it's like, yeah, with growth, you did a lot of healing and a lot of like meditations and figuring out your triggers, what triggers you, what doesn't, to end up with somebody that just provokes you and makes you put away all that you've like learned to not do, to do with them. Just because, I don't know, it's like they could come of this person, or the triggers or people that provoke you could come in a big, pretty, shiny box with a ribbon on top, everything physically attractive, sexually compatible, good sex, whatever it is, to make you keep fucking with them. Because I know how it is. It's like the devil or low vibrational energy will also always come in something that you've always wanted or felt like you always wanted, that you don't really need but you want. It's like that. It's like overindulging in eating. It's like you ate that great meal, but now you want a brownie, and it's like, do you really need that brownie? And aren't you working on like your diet or whatever the fuck? Don't mean it has to be that, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, do you really need certain things? Because it's already provoking you, it's making you act out of character. So you're willing to be provoked, and you're willing to be in a low vibrational energy just because they have good sex, or they're fine, they're sexy. It's for your ego, really. We all know ego does not go with growth. Growth and ego does not go hand in hand. If you're in your ego, you're not going to grow. In order to grow, you got to get out of your ego. Egos prefer protection. Egos that I don't give a fuck, get out of my way, protection, the Aries energy. Mostly for protection and for like getting what you want and not being discouraged, and that masculine energy. But growth, real growth, is like, I feel like you can use ego a little bit, but ego is mostly to like protect your growth. Like, say you're growing and somebody comes trying to fuck with the provoking situation. Somebody keeps trying to come fuck with all of you put your time, dedication, blood, sweat, tears into. They come fucking with your stuff, trying to energy vamp off of you, trying to discourage you, come in and provoke you and argue with you, because it looks like because they come in looking like everything you wanted and dreamed of. Like, they come fucking with you. Yeah, you're gonna have to use your ego, but it's like, why keep having to use your ego and use ugly words, boundaries, put up these like thick walls of like, and you're gonna end up getting back together with them or end up engaging with them again. Like, you might as well just cut them off. I'm saying if they keep provoking you. Now, if they could provoke you and you tell them your triggers and then they completely stop because they know that it angers you, then that's a different story. But if this is the type of person where they keep doing whatever the fuck they want to do, knowing that you don't like it, then that's somebody you need to cut off, because they're hindering your growth. Because then you got to use your ego too much. It's you can use your ego too much to the point where it's like, damn, I'm not getting anywhere with just using my ego. Growth is not about just using your ego at all. Ego is to protect all that you've that you've built and healed and conquered, conquest, got through. Okay, so we got impartially, because I don't know what's that say, but let's read the card because it's a different card than pile 1. You could have been drawn more than one pile. I'm only gonna do ability. Okay. Baha is the wise dictator from the town of Beige. She is known for settling disputes fairly. One day, 2 neighbors are arguing about what color to paint their fence. Bahana gives each of them a can of paint and instructs them to paint their side of the fence the color that the other neighbor wants. She knows that when they can color their world in the love of their neighbor's eyes, they will understand and accept one another. I quietly listen, allowing you to color your own palette. Oh, I quietly listen, allowing you to color your own palette. The color neutral. Yeah. Beige is kind of like in between too. I feel like what it's trying to say is like, have patience and try to, 9 out of 10, try to hear what somebody else is, why they're upset. Or try to study someone and why you, try to study someone and see why they're trying to provoke you. See where the jealousy energy is coming from. See where the anger energy is coming from. See where the provoking energy is coming from. Study someone. Study them. Study people. And see why they observe people. And see why they act the way they act. Because most times people that provoke and act out of character need help. I believe in mass mental health. It's like a lot of people actually need mental health healing. It says key ideas: neutral position, allowing things to unfold, standing in another's shoes, uplifted communication. Keywords: guide, open-minded, fairness. Yeah, this is calling, Pastor, you need to be more open-minded with different characters, different beliefs, different people coming in your life, why they believe, why they have different morals. I feel like it's kind of hard for you to understand why people act the way they act, or why people have different morals, or why they live the way they live. And it's a little frustrating for you to see people act or live a certain way. But I feel like it's calling for you to have less judgment and more understanding, or trying to understand where they're coming from, or how, like, why they're where they're brought up. Like, it's a lot to do with why people have different characters and why they think different things will resolve something. I think It's coming from like basically Pile 2 coming from like a third party yeah, because it says neutral position. That's someone that's standing in the middle, or somebody that's looking, like, even if it's just you two, like you and another person, try to, like, I don't want to say come outside of your body, but kind of like come outside of your body and be like in the middle and try to figure out like the situation from, like, if somebody was to be watching you two arguing, or just to like study you and other person, and why is this person triggered. Yeah, like stand outside of yourself and it's like, why am I being triggered by this person? Why am I letting them trigger me? Why am I triggering this person? Why are they letting me trigger them? Why are they triggered? Why am I triggered? Like different things like that. And how can I resolve it? Should I walk away? Should I say something uplifting? Should I kill them with kindness? Should I step away and talk to them tomorrow? Like different resolutions, and coming off striking and really mean with your words. Because I think that's more ego. That's more ego, when you're like that very sharp tongue, Queen of Swords, King of Swords energy, where it's like you don't give a fuck, you can cuss their ass out. People can make you go there, but I think it's more so like you're very powerful with your tongue. So it's like when it comes from you, especially if you're like a healer or like a psychic or a tarot reader or whoever, just of somebody of the community, or that's an empath or something like that, when it comes from people like us, I think, well, from anybody, I think it's just like it's more cutthroat when we finally, yeah, it's like more cutthroat when we finally had enough of somebody bullshit. Oh, we finna really like, we're finna like come in destructive as fuck and make you like, we're like, when empathy, when people like us get, we're really finna say some mean shit that we're just gonna let it out. A whole demon is gonna come out, because we don't usually use that side of ourselves, and we don't want to use that side of ourselves. But when somebody keeps poking, it's like, okay, you about to get everything from 10 years ago that I've been holding. So that's why I feel like the stepping outside of yourself and trying to see it from like a third person, a neutral perspective, like in this, what it was saying is like more of like a spiritual way of like dealing with something. Because you can also, it's a lot of ways you can, it's a lot of people think it's not more than 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ways of like having a resolution, but it actually is. You just have to be level-headed, come outside of yourself, outside of those emotions, and have a neutral part, like and I don't want to say astral travel, but like come out of your body a little bit and look at it as if you were watching you argue with another person on the street, like a random person, and you can figure out how to resolve it more ways than one when you look at it from that perspective, if that makes sense. Like if you were to, like, basically if you were to, not even like that, I'll give another example. Come out of your body and view it as two strangers arguing outside of Walmart or somewhere, and they can't come to a resolution. If you were standing outside of that, like kind of like eavesdropping, how would you help those two people? Yeah, because you're empath, you're very compassionate, I feel like, Power 2. So it's like, try to like visualize as you eavesdropping on two strangers arguing, and how would you help them come to a resolution, just like this card, how she made them come to a resolution. And look at it, don't even just look, yeah, for your situation as well, and other people's situation, but look at it mostly when you get into arguments, when you come into like a confrontational type of energy, someone that challenges you, someone that triggers you, somebody that provokes you. Look at it from that point of view, and I promise you, not even 9 times out of 10, 10 out of 10, it's going to help you resolve something that could have been easily resolved without adding karma to it with the bad words and wishing upon. You could cuss somebody out, but it's like once you say things where you be like, oh, you're not, like when you like put them down is where the karma comes back. Not really cussing them out, but like when you put someone down and not really knowing that you're putting them down, because it's easy to say some shit and not knowing that you're saying it. Because I done said some hurtful things where I'm like, damn, I didn't even know I had that in me to say that shit. Like, but yeah, that's what I have for your messages on what you need to know right now, Pal 2. So I hope it did resonate, and I hope it helped you. And if it did help you, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next post. Hello, Pal 3. So this will be what you need to hear right now from Spirit from your higher self, whoever. Just like little messages you need to hear. I feel like a simpler energy from this pile. What is pile? Well, let me what is pile doing here? I feel like a soft energy from you, pile 3. Very soft energy from you. Because I almost want to like take a nap with you. I feel very comfortable with you. I don't feel judged with you here at all. I don't feel judged at all in your energy. Spend some time on self-care. This is such a beautiful card. I don't even think I need to pull anymore. This is a beautiful card. It's pretty self-explanatory, pile 3. But let me see what else I can get from the card. Spend some time on self-care. The back is pretty too. So I feel like what you need to do is like, you feel like enough for like other people, family, if you have kids, for your kids, for outside sources. You're definitely a healer in this pile. You do some type of like healing remedies. You do some type of like, you cook, you clean for other people maybe. You're like a nurturing energy. That's why I'm feeling like mothering energy. Even if you're not, you could be pregnant right now. Yeah. Some of you guys, if you're not a mother, you're pregnant right now. If not, you just have this, even if you don't have no kids at all and you're not pregnant, it's just giving me like the Empress energy where I feel pregnant. I feel very like stagnant and I feel very well rested, or that energy of like where you eat a big meal, like that Thanksgiving meal, you just like want to just lay on a couch and talk to your family members and watch the kids play, or just sit down and put on like one of those old TV shows and movies that everyone knows the words to, everybody enjoys. It's like hearing laughter, drinking a little alcohol, a little wine cooler, eating ices outside, or just like, you know, just like a very warm, simple day, like running to the ice cream truck, or giving like little kids money so you can see them smile to go to the ice cream truck. And give me like one of those energies where it's just like you take care of the home, you take care of yourself, or you take care of others before you take care of yourself. It's giving me like you'll take care of the home and others, your husband, your boyfriend, if you live with your boyfriend. If not, it's just like it's time for you to take care of yourself. So I would say like pour a wine, pour anything you like to enjoy yourself. If you don't drink, light the incense, do all of that. If you do all of it, it's just like make your home feel as comfortable as you want it to feel. You deserve it. Like you deserve all of it. You deserve to go out and buy yourself flowers. You deserve to go out and take yourself on a date. If you're single, go out by yourself, or just order Uber Eats, lay in bed, have that like whole rest week. Go on vacation. For some of you guys, it doesn't mean you have to go to like somewhere extravagant. You could just go to like the park. Have long warm walks in the park in the morning, every morning if you need to, if that's your form of self-care. But I feel like you could be a water sign, or just a sign in general that, or a healer in general, that you absorb a lot, so you need to have a lot of self-care. Like, I don't know if that's stress enough, but as a healer, as an empath, you need extreme self-care, a lot of rest, a lot of like massages. Get your boyfriend, whoever, to rub your feet. You deserve it all. You do not deserve, for this pile, if you begin the bare minimum, please no. You deserve more than regular spa time and stuff like that. You take care of other people most times. Even if you don't, it's like you're in this energy now where you're very independent. You need to be taking care of yourself how you would take care of a baby or other people's babies. I don't know if you work at like a daycare or something like that, but it's just like you need to really like sit there and take care of yourself how you would nurture a baby. Even if you don't work with kids, It's just giving me like, how would you take care of a baby? Would you be really like, would you be neglectful? Would you be really heavy-handed, or would you be light-handed? Because the way she's brushing her hair is giving me like she's doing it very like slow and like light-handed, and actually like looking at every stroke and like taking care of herself. Like, I don't know if you like let yourself go for some of you guys, or you've been letting yourself go, you're out of shape, as in like if you just, yeah, it's like maybe some of you guys, you're not working out as much, or you're not doing yoga, you get out of breath very fast. But if you, even if you feel like that, it's just like take little steps to get back to where you were in life. Because I think for some of you guys, you took a little break to do self-care. It could be all of the above, but even if you did, don't feel ashamed of doing this, because you needed it. You definitely needed it, and you deserved it. You still deserve it. So it's like, even if you do need to take long breaks for self-care, I think you're the type where you go hermit mode a lot, from your friends, from your family, from your lovers, from a lot of the people. Because it's like you need, like, it's pile 3, you need this is like the simplest. You need to go take a, even if you have to take a bath twice a week, 3 times a week, for it every damn night. If you need to take a bath every damn night because you deserve it, or you're that tired from your everyday life, yeah, you could be some type of caregiver for your job, or you're gonna start to be a caregiver for your job. Caregiver could be anything, to a nurse, a doctor, at a nursery, a healer, actual psychic healer. People come to you for readings. If not, I'm pretty sure there's like a prediction that you, pile 3, you're gonna be some type of healer, caregiver, somebody that helps with your healing hands. You have healing hands here. You probably heal through touch, through all of the clairvoyances. Like, you heal people by just being yourself. People latch on to you. People feel like they need to keep you, trap you. Yeah, she's a mermaid, and it's giving me that mermaid in the Caribbean, where they were trying to get her tears. I don't know why they was trying to get her tears so bad, but they had cut her boyfriend and made her cry. You know that scene? And then like, yeah, something about mermaids' tears that people just need. And then like, they probably really need it from you, pile 3. It's like, you're something in your tears and your spiritual body just makes people like cling on to you. You could have a lot of partners that want to get sexual. It's something about your spiritual body. It could be a water sign, don't have to be, or you have water placements in your chart. I feel like a lot of water signs, because water represents spirituality, are more like, not more, but it's like it's more psychic abilities. If they tap into them, if that's something they want to do in life, it comes easier like than other signs, because other signs are in other elements, if that makes sense. The water signs, it's more easy if they want to do that in life. It comes natural. But I think for you, even if you're not a water sign, it comes natural to you, because she's a fucking mermaid. You're a mermaid. Even if you don't, like, you're some type of mermaid, merman in this pile, and it's like something to do with your tears. You could cry a lot. If you need to cry for self-care, cry for self-care, pile 3. Cry, put on a, I'm pretty sure y'all have like a playlist just for you to be in your feelings. That's okay. Being in your also, like, if you're pessimistic, if being pessimistic is what makes you feel the feels, have that playlist for you to be pessimistic. Like, if you make art out of the dark, deep feelings, and people always think you're sad, who gives a fuck? Be sad. That's how you create art. That's how you tap into other people's emotions. Like, I think you deal with a lot of dark things, a lot of deep, dark shit. This pile, I feel like you're psychic. That was like something that needs to come out for you to hear. You're psychic in this pile, because you pick up on a lot of like, because she's in the, yeah, she's a mermaid, and oceans are deep. She's clearly in the ocean. She's on a coral reef. I love the coral reef emoji, you guys. Oh my gosh, so pretty. I might put it as the timestamp next to your timestamp, or in there somewhere, or in the title of this, because the coral reef is giving me like she's sitting on the coral reef, the emoji coral reef. But yeah, she's in the ocean. It's very deep, so I feel like you're like, she's all in the ocean. I feel like, pile 3, if you like being in these deep emotions all the time, be in these deep emotions all the time. If like you're the one that always has to bust people bubble, be that person. If that's like naturally comes to you, of like where you're very like, you could wear a lot of blacks or something like that, I'm not sure, but it's just like you're very like, it's just who you are, a very deep thinker, a very deep person. You don't really, I don't want to say you don't have fun a lot, but it's like your fun is to be very deep, to study, to look deeper into things, philosophy, conspiracy, psychedelics. Maybe you want to play around with psychedelics, things that make you see and think deeply, hallucinations, stuff like that, crime investigation shows, psychology, autonomy. I think that's the human body. I think the human body is autonomy. You could like all of the above, and it's just like other people won't really like understand this and understand you, why you find things like science and social studies and literature very entertaining, and this is like your fun. And this is your fun time. If your self-care is reading a book or studying or buying yourself a book or watching documentaries for fun, and it just seems weird, then that's just who you are. Self-care could be a lot of things, just reading, going to the park. It doesn't have to be always going out drinking, turning up, stuff like that, like what regular people would. I don't even want to call that regular, because right now I feel like that's the more, I don't know, everything's regular if you feel like it's regular. If it's something that's your daily routine, it's seen to you as regular, and if other people do it, it's seen to them as regular. So nothing is just regular or weird. It's just weird to somebody that doesn't do it on a regular basis, if that makes sense. So I just feel like whatever your self-care routine is, do that and indulge in that, overindulge in that. Like, I'm hearing overindulge in that if you need to. If that's what recharges your chakras, Pal 3, do that. Nobody can tell you how to recharge your chakras to make your chakras more aligned. Everybody recharges their chakras differently, because you're a different human being. Everybody is different. I'm kind of studying fashion and stuff like that. Everybody's body, when you sell clothing, it's sold as actual commercial clothing, which means it's sold to like the most popular body shape, but in all reality, they're making that shit off of like one source, the clothing. So if you buy things that don't look aesthetically pleasing on you, it's because your body shape is unique. You're very unique, that's one thing I learned, that like clothing from different companies aren't gonna fit you, and it's not because you're not a beauty standard. It's because their clothing brand is probably not made for you. It's made for another beauty standard, which they find regular, or they find the popular beauty standard for their brand. Doesn't mean that you're not of the beauty standard. Yeah, I think that was another message, something about beauty standards. Like, you are a beauty standard, but you have to find, I don't want to say find other people like you. That might be a message. Find other people like you that enhance your beauty, that don't make you feel like you're not a beauty standard. You are definitely a beauty standard, just not of their beauty standards. Like I said, what seems regular to other people might be weird as fuck, but what's weird as fuck might be regular to somebody else, and vice versa, and so on and so on and so on. But I think here you're very versatile. I feel like you're alone a lot as well. Don't let people make you feel bad for wanting to be alone. Don't make people make you feel bad for feeling like, if you feel awkward, or if they make you feel awkward, you need to get away from them. Friends could also be your haters too, Power 3. That's another thing. Friends, love interest can be haters, jealous. I've never really gotten those dynamics. I'm still studying those dynamics of why somebody would be your friend or your lover and be your nemesis, but dedicate their time and their energy to you. That's a weird dynamic that I want to study and get into, because it's like, why does your world revolve around someone you hate? and you dedicate all of your time and energy onto this person instead of having a life of your own, since you hate this person you hate this person and you're trying to sabotage everything they're doing. It's weird. It's giving me like that dynamic is, I've never really gotten to wrap my head around that, where they love bomb you and then they not love bomb, but it's like they like Regina George with the new girl that then became like her own sense of self. And once she became her own sense of self, Regina George got even more mad that she couldn't control what's her name, I forget her name, she was from Africa. But yeah, as the crew started to split up or whatever, it was like more so the new girl was like the popular one out of it, and she didn't like, she was starting to notice that she was, because I think Regina got sick one day or some shit, or and then the new girl kind of seen that the two other girls that were Regina friends that didn't have a mind of their fucking own was like, oh, so what are we doing today? And then she started to get the energy that, oh, okay, like I'm like, I could be my own, I don't know, something in that message resonates with somebody. But it's like, you don't have to follow anyone, basically. You're a threat, is what I'm getting. You're a threat to some of your friends, and you don't know it. Like, they're your nemesis and you don't know it. It's like they want to see everything that you're doing. Some of you guys, you have really no idea, or you're thinking she or he would never do that. You have somebody in mind right now that came up as I said that, and you're like, no, that can't be them. I know they're not talking about them. It might be them. If that's the person, whoever came up to your head, you're saying it would never be them. But I've always said that about my friends, and then it ended up being them, not gonna lie, because they're so sweet and they always act like they want the best for you, and they always like, it's like those type of friends where they need to know everything that you're doing, like them type of friends where they always need to check up on you to see what you've been up to, like those nosy friends. Not everybody's like that, but if somebody pop up to you, if somebody did pop up in your head as I said that, watch that friend, because I feel like that was a prediction for somebody. Like, maybe they're the leader, but you're also the leader as well in the friend group. Or you've always been the leader. Regina George probably, I feel like she was always the leader. Remember when Regina George was like, oh, you're so pretty, and she was like something, she was like, oh, so you agree that you think you're pretty? Some weird shit like that. Like, girl, you think I'm pretty, you think I'm prettier. Like, it's weird, giving weird ass energy from a certain friend that's nosy around you. So I'll be careful. Don't keep company that isn't like, but it's hard to distinguish who is who, because the ones that really be your nemesis love on you the most. And then but just watch, because they'll make certain faces, or they'll say certain things, like how she was like, oh, so you really agree that you're pretty? It's like little shit like that you have to pick up on and know that that's a big ass red flag. Power 3. So that's what I have for you. If you did enjoy, and if it did resonate, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next post. Hello, Power 4. So this will be what you need to hear right now. This will be what you need to hear from your spirit guide, your higher self. What is Power 4 need to hear right now? What is Power 4? That was quick. Confusion. I feel like I need to pull another card, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna elaborate on this card first. Somebody could have recently just passed, or you lost touch with someone and you're confused about it. You're confused about the afterlife. You're confused about why they had to go so soon. You're confused about why good people go so soon, or you're confused about why certain relationships that you felt like were your everything don't work out, and why they're in your life and why they're testing you. Like, I think you're kind of sick of like relationships and people testing you and not being like the actual one for you. Like, you're tired of like the lessons that come with people and not like the forced season with someone. You're sick of like them coming in and coming out of your life for like a reason or a test. Like the universe is basically testing you. You're tired of those tests. So now I feel like pile 4, you're just like closed off is what I'm getting from the imagery. That's like a message. I feel like you're just very like confused about why you keep getting all these lessons, hard lessons, painful lessons from love. That could be both family members passing, family members being toxic, you have to cut off, or relationships. You could have even been somebody you were in a relationship that passed away. It could be a lot of things, because he's definitely like a ghost in this pile. I know this, as I read it, it's not going to be anything about that, but I was getting that from the imagery for some of you, that it's just like giving you a lot of confusion, a lot of like, it's putting you in a lot of deep thinking about life and what you believe in, and you're getting a little frustrated because she looks mad, she looks very cold. So I feel like you've been left out in the cold a lot, like you have been abandoned a lot, and you're confused on what lessons these are teaching you. And it's actually giving you, it's like giving you like, it's like making you question your faith a little bit. Like all these like hard, you're like tired of it, really. I'm getting like you're just tired of it. Like you're over it, you're tired of it. Like, okay, so after you feel like you've done healed from like a bad situation, another situation comes in your way, and it's like, damn, I just done healing, I just got out of this bad situation, now I have to deal with another bad situation, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna read it, and it says, Jana climbs Faith Mountain in dense fog, wondering whether her decision to leave her boyfriend was the right one. There is another man waiting in the wings, there always is. Silver cloud surrounds her, and it is cold and scary. Despite her confusion, she keeps climbing. As she reaches the summit, the fog clears, revealing the town far below. With Silver's cloud help, she has journeyed much further than she realized. She now knows what to do. She begins the long journey home to reclaim her love. Key ideas: allowing confusion, spiritual support, consequences of actions, finding love. And the key words is clarity, support, revelation. Inspiration: through the willingness to be in confusion, we find clarity. There is nothing to solve. There is nothing to solve. Wow, and I just paused on that. I'm gonna read the rest though, but I think that's like the main. Meditation and quiet time will bring clarity. Every silver lining has a cloud. So I feel like there is nothing to solve. I feel like with that, why am I drawn to the shaman one, even though it didn't come out? Let me read this one. I don't know why. In a time before history, she, shaman, walks the earth, bestowing artistic talents on a select few. One day she rests under a birch tree. Hey, says Birch, I want my muse too. Birch entertains she shaman for a long time, singing and telling tales. She shaman smiles. My great friend, you have had your art all along. My great friend, you have had your art all along. She vows that from then on, she will give everyone their own gift. To this day, she shaman has never left us. We see her inside every creative work. Key ideas: opening to magic, lasting transformation, divine and feminine, awakening, creativity, finding your muse, owning your gifts. Keywords: creativity, muse, magic. Then we got inspiration. Your path is an artistic one. Express your love in a tangible art form. It is time to make decisions. Oh, some of you guys could be artists here, creators here. Your divine feminine here. Definitely divine feminine, shaman. You have talents here. And I feel like a lot of your talents make you, it lingers on into your love life. It makes you feel like you need to like solve something in the person or your love life, or it's like a reason of why they hurt you and stuff like that. But I feel like sometimes they're just an outside source, and it's to help you create energies and artistic expression from the emotions you feel about being in a relationship with them. It doesn't always mean you have to leave that person, because and this one she did go back. But some of you guys, I feel like you guys are easily to leave someone and go on to the next person, and you're so easily to leave the next person and the next person and the next person, and it's leaving you confusion, because I feel like you're thinking that it's tests of time. It's tests to develop your character. It's tests to help you become a better human being. It's tests to help you with your talents and stuff like that. I really feel like most of the time, I feel like you need to just, instead of calling it quits so easy, put those like confused because I think you go through a lot of, with all this circles around her, I think you go through a lot of transformation through feelings. Like, it don't have to be transformation through financial. It could be all of that, but I think the quickest transformations you go through and the most transformation you go through Power 4 is through emotion. And it leaves you confused and in a whirlwind. Yeah, because she's definitely in a whirlwind. And he's kind of like holding her and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of your partners can try to kind of like comfort you, hold you, make you feel secure. But it's like, it's your emotions that make you feel confused or insecure with someone, and then you leave them. But I think that your next relationship or your new relationship, or with someone you really wanted to work out with, don't be so quick to get up and leave because you feel like you've already learned the lesson. Because I feel like you need to learn a lesson, and then you're on to the next person. You need to learn a lesson there, and then you're on to the next person. You need to learn another lesson, and then you're on to the next person. I feel like you need to find someone that can understand your emotions. And well, you need to understand your emotions first. Power 4 is the main. Yeah, you need to understand your emotions first, because you actually, I don't think you realize how many emotions you feel throughout a week, let alone a day. I think start it off slow and try to like see how many emotions you go through a day or a week. And I really feel like this will help your artistic expression and your magical gifts, because it definitely says like hold on, this one, it was like, because it says divine feminine, lasting transformation. Like, that means you don't just go through, like, these transformation emotions will be with you for forever. I think you're just you could have a mutable sign. Even if you don't, it's giving me like you go through a lot of emotion. Nothing's wrong with that too. I think a lot of people kind of like try to point to mental illness with that, but that has nothing to do with mental illness, not all the time. And I think a lot of mental illness it is bullshit, because it's like, it's just emotions. Like, I think a lot of the time in like medicine's old ways of medicating people was bullshit back then, because it's like people really feel like you should be acting like a robot out here. Like, no, I'm going to be affected by such and such doing that. Like, I'm going to react a certain way because such and such happened to me. Like, I'm not finished. Like, that's normal reactions and emotions. You're not finna just make me feel like I'm out of control and that I'm bipolar and I'm not supposed to feel this way, and then I'm supposed to take medication to dim my light or my aura. No, I'm going to express these emotions. I don't care how dramatic or harmful they may look or seem, if I'm not harming myself. And I'm just I think you're just very expressive. I feel like if you're not harming nobody else or yourself, then that's just normal. I don't feel like a lot of the stuff back then was bullshit with the medicine. It was just there to like, I was looking up psychedelics and stuff like that and DMT and stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of the medications, it's just like alcoholism. Like, it just deals with the problem on the surface and it numbs you. It numbs you, it numbs your feelings, it makes you become like a robot, like you're not a real person. Real people go through emotions like this. So I feel like what's best for you, Power 4, is to surround yourself with someone, like I said, after you figure out how to cope with your emotions, which I feel like is going to be artistic through song, because she's singing. Through songs, through reading, through telling stories, through poetry. I'm hearing poetry. You could buy a poetry book, make a poetry book, become an author. It's something artistic that's going to help you cope with all these emotions that you go through, because you feel a lot and you're very empathic and very aware of your surroundings that make you feel a lot. So I feel like don't ever make somebody feel like, don't go to someone that's just going to numb you with pills, or don't go to someone that's in the profession that's going to give you pills. Go to someone that's actually going to not numb you, but help you feel the feels even deeper and understand your, like, I heard hypnosis, stuff like that. But I'm feeling like it's going to be through something artistic, and I feel like you need somebody that, a friend, a partner that's going to support that, not make you feel weird about that. You need someone that's going to support this in you. I think you need to stop looking at relationships as lessons here, is what I was getting. But I was going to go back to the bird was like, I want my muse to and then she was like, my great friend you have my great friend my great friend, you have had your art all along. Yeah, it was like the art, the tree didn't, like the tree wanted a muse or wanted inspiration. I didn't know she had it in her, but it was like her entertaining the shaman was like, you are already your own muse. You don't need any. Yeah, I think you feel like you need a muse outside of yourself with different partners. I think you get into like, you let a lot of partners, friends inspire you, but I feel like you could actually, if you go inside of yourself and learn your emotions and learn yourself as a whole, internally, externally, everything about your body, like your toes, your feet, everything about your body, your sexual body, everything about yourself, your sexual expression, what turns you on, what doesn't turn you on. It's like, if you get to know yourself to the core, you will actually become your own inspiration. You won't have to, I mean, it's okay. A lot of artists do get their inspiration from references, like other artists, colors, nature. You could do that too, but I feel like you don't need that. You don't need that. Like the tree, you don't need an outside muse. You are your muse. It comes from within you, Power 4. It definitely comes within you, Power 4, because you have so many colors of emotions inside of yourself, so many whirlwind of emotions and feelings inside of yourself. You definitely, Power 4, you definitely don't need a reference. You could feel like you need a reference now because other artists use references for like portraits, stories, and stuff like that. Authors use a lot of outside muses. A lot of artists actually use a lot of outside muses, but I think for you, Power 4, you're a little confused about that because you feel like you need an outside muse or you need a lesson in someone to help you develop your character. But I feel like in all, it's like you actually don't need that. I know that's like the regular thing to do. You've probably been watching other people that inspire you do this, but you don't need that. You don't need that relationship. You don't need that perfect power couple relationship. You don't need a perfect someone. You just need someone that can understand you and help you and that loves you. My phone's dying. That always happens in my reads. Yeah, I think you also too, Power 4, you're a little confused because you feel like you need is it recording? Yeah, you feel like you need because you look for other muses like the tree to the shaman. It's like you feel like you don't need it, but it can be there. It's good to have references and outside sources, external sources for growth and development, but you don't need it all the time. You don't need it at all, really, with your type of energy. I'm getting you're very flamboyant, colorful, and even if you're not gay or bisexual or whatever, queer, I'm getting a very queer energy where it's like you have like a lot of different spectrums. Like with you, it's like, okay, so how can another message to how I can explain it with you, Power 4, is like, if you're confused because you're trying to, a lot of people only have certain pinpoints of who they are. So say you meet Matthew and he only has 4 different categories of his personality. That's cool. That's a category. He has only 4 main categories in his brain or in his emotions and his body. His whole compound, his whole body, his mass only has 4 compounds of something. But you have a spectrum, if that makes sense. Like you have more, like you have way more than 4. You have way more than 4 fucking emotions that you feel during a fucking day. You definitely don't need nothing that's gonna numb you. I don't know if you drink or whatever it is. You know, it's crazy. I feel like a lot of people that feel this way are prone to substance abuse because they feel like this is not normal, and it's actually completely normal. And there is a lot of people like you. You don't need to, I feel like you are closed off until you find a lover, a partner. And I feel like your parents could have been a little confused about this as well, because they only have 4 different compounds, maybe even 2 different compounds of their character. But you, my friend, Power 4, you have a spectrum of personality traits, characteristics, emotions, ways of thinking, ways of learning, ways of sexual expression, whether that's actually engaging in sex with someone or putting it to artistic expression, writing. Your sexual expression comes through a lot of things, actually. Your sexual expression is what keeps you alive, keeps you breathing and living, actually. So I feel like you have a fucking spectrum. So it's like, for you, I'm not saying you have to have a lover that has a wide spectrum. That would be actually a great thing for you, Power 4. But I feel like you need someone like Tom, even if he only has like 5 main emotions or whatever that makes him up of a whole, of a source. I feel like he needs to at least understand that you're not that simple. You're actually complex, and this is just who you are as a person and how you express yourself. And you need to kind of break it down to whoever you really care about and stick with that person, because I feel like there is a person willing to love you, whoever this is. Like she went up to the mountain, she broke up, she was trying to, because it said she was wondering whether her decision to leave her boyfriend was the right one. And then when she got up to when she saw how far she got, which is her journey, her own life, I feel like it was really a metaphor for her, like being on her own and getting to know her emotions by herself, getting to know herself as a whole. Because you have a lot to get to know yourself, Power 4. You have all these spectrums that's gonna take you time to get to know yourself. I'm not saying wait for a relationship until you finally get to know all these spectrums of yourself, because that's honestly, for you, I feel like there's a billion within you and within your lifetime. So I'm feeling like engage with someone that you love being around, because I feel like the same person that you're thinking about loves you too, and they want to understand you. Look at him, I'm gonna cry. They want to understand you, but you're pushing them away because you understand yourself. This person misses you if you have a person in mind, but I feel like if you don't, this person's gonna come in soon, or the right person. Like it might be people in your life right now, but you'll know the right person, because they'll at least try to understand you. If they try to understand you and they don't criticize you, make you feel weird and punish you for your gifts and your talents and your art and your spectrum ways of like living as a human being, then this is the person for you. If they at least try to understand you. And I just want to cry so bad, because it's like I'm feeling like genuine love. Look how he's like wrapped around her and she looks like confused, hurt. The right person is coming in for you, or you already met them. If you feel them trying to understand who you are as a person, that's somebody that loves you, somebody that tries to understand you and don't make it. Somebody that tries to argue with you or try to change you or try to like sophisticate you in a way, make you bland and make you boring. I don't want to say they're boring, but it's like make you feel like you need to be another way to suit them, is not for you, Power 4. You definitely don't need to be. Somebody needs to, no, definitely can't fit you in a box at all. You don't like that anyways. You could be an air sign, but if you're not an air sign, you have that air sign quality about you where it's like, no. But yeah, it says she began the long journey home to reclaim her love. So there's somebody out there that's willing to understand this about you, Power 4. Maybe you went through a lot of relationships where you felt like nobody would try, because you've been in a lot of relationships where nobody would try. They would just be like, okay, she's weird, or she has mental health problems, and she's crazy, and she is this and that, and it's not somebody for you. Now you know who's for you. Someone who tries to understand you and feels like you're perfectly fine and normal. You're just who you are, Power 4. So I feel like that was like the main message for you, Power 4. And if it did resonate, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next post.